in South America named Guyana. It's very small. Now, it's a beautiful country, but there aren't a lot of opportunities there. So my parents, in search of a better opportunity and a better quality of life, made the decision they were going to move to the United States. Now, the path to get to the United States is actually not an easy one. So a lot of people that are coming from that area or from the Caribbean or over on that side will choose to either go through Canada or they'll choose to go through England. So at the age of 23, my parents decided to move to London, England, where I was born. And at that point, they were still continuing on their path to the United States. So at the age of 5, my sister was 12, we moved here. We moved to Los Angeles, California. Now, over the next couple of years, they had to decide where are they going to settle, right? So they started looking for affordable housing. They started looking for good schools, which I know that is something that's very, very common to most of us out here. And they decided to settle in the desert. It's a place called Palmdale, California, which is where I was raised. Now, moving to the desert, or moving to this suburb, did accomplish their needs. They were able to get affordable housing. My sister and I went to decent schools, but it did create a commute to work. My mother worked an hour away from home. My father worked 2 hours away. So there was only one car, so they would wake up at 5, they would leave at 6, he would drop her off an hour, he would continue on the second hour to get to work. So it's a 2-hour commute at work in the morning, which means a 2-hour commute in the evening as well. So my parents would get home about 7, 8 o'clock every evening. And this happened from about age 7, which is where I was there. In the afternoon, I was there pretty much by myself, my sister and I, from the ages of 7 to 9. And then at age 9, she went off to college. So by age 9, I was home by myself in the afternoon. Now, I don't know if that's an acceptable age anymore to be at home, so don't tell anybody else this story. But I think a lot of us were maybe latchkey kids back then anyway. So in the afternoons, I would come home from school. I would watch Oprah at 3 o'clock. I would watch Tiny Toon Adventures at 4 o'clock. I was a well-balanced child. I would do my homework. I would make dinner, which was Chef Boyardee was my favorite. Have you ever tried to eat any of that stuff now, though? It just tasted. But anyway, Chef Boyardee, my homework done, I would clean up, and I would wait my parents' arrival. Now, as a child, normal is normal, right? So I didn't think anything about it. I had a very happy childhood, so it wasn't a big deal to me. But my mother, actually, to this day, still has a lot of guilt about that period of time, and how for 8 years, she had a child at home that she couldn't be physically present for. So there were no extracurricular activities or sports because there was nobody around to take me. Now, as a parent myself, now I got a chance to look back or to look into my own children's experience and look through it through my mother's eyes. So it gave me an opportunity to start asking myself some questions. And what those questions were is, do I want to give my children the same experience that I had? When I look back, what I realized is that my parents at that time were just trying to survive. That was that survival mode that you're in. We've got to just do something. We've got to lay the foundation. And they worked extremely hard to do that. Now, my parents never made $100,000 individually. I don't know if they made it combined. Actually, hearing the statistics yesterday, they probably made half of that combined. And so I had to look at it and say, you know what, am I going to do the same thing? Do I want to get home at 7 o'clock every night? Do I want to be capped at a certain income? Just like Jennifer said, do I want to sit across the table from somebody that's going to tell me how much I'm worth? Do I want to just survive? Well, my answer was no. And your answer is no. And the reason that I know that is because we were all crazy enough to take a class, pass a test, become a licensed life insurance agent, not knowing what that meant, what we were going to do, what our income was going to look like, but you knew, like I knew, that you just wanted something more for yourself. So I jumped right into this opportunity head first and got immediately hit with some obstacles, and actually from those same parents. And those same parents said, I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't know if you should be going into that world. And I understood that it was coming from a place of love and care, because what they were saying is, I might not like job world, but at least I understand it. At least I know that you can survive there. And Tanya, if you don't do that, I don't even know what it looks like if you're not in survival mode. But what they didn't know was that my decision to become an entrepreneur was actually a thank you to them. It was a thank you for having them come and make these decisions to survive. It was a thank you for them laying that foundation and giving me the opportunity to do something more than that. My opportunity, or my decision to become an entrepreneur, and the ambition that it took to do that, was a love letter to my parents. So some of you need to be saying to yourselves, thank you. Some of you need to be telling your own story of survival and saying, thank you to myself for having come this far. Thank you to myself for having laid the foundation. Thank you for all of the pushing that I've done so far to get here. But now it's time to achieve. You've done enough just surviving. Now you've got to move forward to achieving. Achievement is the next step after survival, because achievement is that place where you can move comfortably throughout your daily life. My goal was to achieve, but I realized very quickly that in order to get to that next level, it actually required some additional sacrifices. I wasn't coming home at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. It was worse. I was coming home at 10 or 11. I was leaving just as early in the morning, and I was missing all those moments. I was missing all the moments with my kids, with my spouse, with my family, with my friends. And you do start to ask yourself, well, why on earth did I pick this plan? Well, I don't know. This is even a good idea. Is achieving even worth it? Why didn't I just decide to survive? But here's the answer. Because it wasn't an 8-year lifestyle. It was a 1-year lifestyle. That 6-figure income is a 1-year lifestyle, maybe 2. So can you give 1 year, 2 years to make that decision, to put in that kind of lifestyle for a 6-figure income? You can. You should. If you're here, it shouldn't be an option to not. Achievement, now at that point, I will say, you remember seeing that sheet yesterday, it says you can either remain or continue. So now when you hit that point, you can decide, do I want to remain or do I want to continue? Do I want to settle or do I want to level up? And depending on where you want to go, you can continue to level up. See, achievement allows you to comfortably move throughout your lifestyle, but many of you are still stuck in survival. And you've gotten so comfortable surviving that you've even forgotten your dream to achieve. You've forgotten the reason that you came here in the first place. When you arrived here, you started with a dream, so you've got to get back to that thing. Jason was mentioning